when we consider yesterday's presidential pardon offered by President Gota Rajapaksa to convicted murderer, convicted rapist, and a unconvicted politically backed heroin trader in Colombo district, Duminda Silva. So actually, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa had a career in the army, and also we know that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is prominently from the Rajapaksa family, who had been involved in politics under their father, Mr. D.A. Rajapaksa, right throughout for a long period. So President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's entry into the army, and subsequently, he became American citizen in 2003 until 2019. I think this whole situation had resulted in some sort of the division in the Sri Lanka defense forces, especially the Sri Lanka army, regarding these matters, what I mentioned here. So as a result, I think the murder of Bharata Lakshman Premachandra, when Duminda Silva and Bharata Lakshman Premachandra met face to face each other with their supporters during a election campaign in the Kolonnawa electorate in Colombo district, had been carried out by Sri Lanka military intelligence, as a long-term process to eliminate both Duminda Silva and Bharata Lakshman Premachandra, and also making use of the statement that Bharata Lakshman Premachandra just mentioned before his assassination regarding the defense secretary. He mentioned Bharata Lakshman Premachandra. I think he randomly mentioned as a normal, uneducated politician. Bharata Lakshman Premachandra had the backing of the Colombo district slum dwellers. So of course he makes certain statements without serious considerations. So he mentioned accordingly that Defense Secretary's support, Duminda Silva had been doing heroin business in Kolonnawa and Colombo district. So using this statement, I think the military intelligence carried out and executed Bharata Lakshman Premachandra, as well as took away Duminda Silva from the politics. It's same as Mervyn Silva, who was also a similar character of some sort of a thug character, which military intelligence did not like their roles, both Duminda Silva, Bharata Lakshman Premachandra and Mervyn Silva, to get into politics and harm the image of Sri Lanka. So making use of Bharata Lakshman's statement regarding Defense Secretary's support to Duminda Silva, who was doing, of course, the heroin trading, I think the military intelligence carried out the assassination of Bharata Lakshman Premachandra using Duminda Silva's bodyguards. So, it was like a long-term process as far as I think. Subsequently, we can see the pardon offered by President Gotabaya is definitely a step towards harming the life of President of Sri Lanka by the same military intelligence. So I think here what the government must consider is the life of both Duminda Silva and Hirunika Premachandra. Both of them had been stubborn, out of control during their lives, based on money, and try to take control of the law to their hands, and who just based on their support of the father, that is Hirunika, and Duminda Silva also because of the money of their Reina Silva and their family assets, who had billions, and Reina Silva is ranked at 433 in the world as the richest person, and South Asia, I think he was 13th person as the most richest person. So their money, politics, power, everything else, etc., whatever I did not mention, resulted in this type of behavior, and they tried to forcibly come into the politics and they both tried and they both failed, and both of them had to exit from the Parliament of Sri Lanka. These sort of military or intelligence operations are very hard to track for the politicians. So ultimately, President Gota getting involved into this is not good, because he as the president cannot get involved into this type of very narrow-minded situations, like Duminda Silva's pardon, because both of Duminda Silva and Hirunika Premachandra must end up in the jail for what they did. So that is the only way to go forward. Because when we look at Hirunika Premachandra's letter, which she has sent yesterday to President Gotabaya, it's dated as 2021, June 24th. She mentions about the that Supreme Court Chief Justice and 7 other judges have decided that Duminda Silva had been a murderer. So now she quotes this, and the whole letter information that she has mentioned on this letter. She says that when her father was assassinated, she was just 23, and she was supposed to enjoy life at that time, but because of her father's untimely death, she had to give up like a carefree life as a 23-year-old, and end up in following up murderers in the courts. So these type of comments, and also he says that about the success of the former CID director Shani in ensuring the conviction. Shani Abhisekara's involvement in conviction of the Duminda Silva. So these are all politics, because this type of situation. So because once military intelligence get involved, the police or the CID investigations won't matter much. And also she says very in abnormal way, as a daughter, that everyone came to pay last respects to her father's body, and Duminda Silva was sent to Singapore through a helicopter. Then she says Mahinda Rajapaksa, Chamal Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa, Shiranti Rajapaksa, Namal Rajapaksa, quoted Rohita Rajapaksa, or no one came to pay last respects to the funeral. I think President Mahinda Rajapaksa, of course, visited Hirunika's father's house, but I think she refers to they did not visit the cemetery. But then again she says all of them have gone to Sri Jawaharlal Hospital to look into the health of Duminda Silva. Well, these type of remarks, and she also says that Duminda Silva entered politics under the patronage of T.B. Langaratne in 1977, and then he was Sri Lanka Mahajana Party's member, and then she continues to mention about these situations. Actually this letter is a clear indication that she has prior knowledge of Sri Lanka military intelligence covert operations to harm President Gotabaya. So I think President Gotabaya must not get involved in this type of narrow, silly military intelligence operations, but rather must ensure justice to both Duminda Silva and Hirunika Premachandra and regarding this incident.